Я его приглашаю. После перерыва сразу я анонсирую, вот будет Виталий Ставропольский, это SEO, да, директор по-нашему вот этого ВУМИ IT-парка, откуда, собственно, выходит в том числе и Евгений. Он вам расскажет, что такое хороший стартап, как они работают. На самом деле, он тоже наш выпускник и тоже наш хороший партнер, это как анонс, да. Поверьте, в Харькове это будет очень интересное место, оно уже интересно, и оно уже работает. Итак, Карлос.
Okay. Good morning to everybody, and I'll thank Nur for the invitation. I will talk about technological things, why you should become a tech entrepreneur, and my own experience in Coimbra, Portugal. So, I will start a bit by talking about what's a tech scene. What's in a region to become a tech scene? I will use the words of Richard Florey, an American economist, that said that, for a region to develop, it should have technology, talent in people, and tolerance in a sense that you should risk, and if you fail, it's okay, you should try again. But I have adapted the concept in a broader sense, that I think we should talk more about knowledge, when a university produces knowledge. Talent is always good in any occasion, in anything you do. And talk more a bit about the ambience. What's happening in the city that in a way makes you keen to become a tech entrepreneur. And in my view, that's what makes a tech scene. When you have those three ingredients combined together, and that produces results. And the good results of a tech scene are these ones. When you have firms that are there, that of course make money, that's also a good thing about a tech firm, and it gives jobs to people, to students who wants to become also a tech entrepreneur. We all heard about Silicon Valley, of course, but there are also some places that are world famous for its technology startups. New York is becoming also very hot. Foursquare, for instance, comes from there. Also in Europe, Berlin is also very hot in this topic. And I would like now to talk to you a little bit about, let's say, my own tech scene, my town. Coimbra is located in Portugal. It's a very old city and in the middle of Portugal, between Porto and Lisbon. And it's also famous for its university. Very old university, 700 years old. Lots of the tradition, lots of history. These are the places where PhD students present their dissertation. They sit there in their little table, being examined in a very, let's say, austere way, so they are normally very nervous to do that. It's also very fun for the persons who study there. Recently I heard that we broke the record of the most beer drunk in a party, so we passed Oktoberfest. I don't know if that's a good record or not, but it's a fact. So students like a lot to be at Coimbra. But people wouldn't assume or think about Coimbra in terms of technology. They would think about tradition, law school, medicine, not really technology. But that changed with those three guys. These are three researchers from Coimbra University that in 1996 dared to risk and make the, let's say, the first tech startup that became really famous in Portugal. And that was not the place where I should expect to find three researchers from Coimbra. You would find them, in a very serious newspaper, wearing a tie and something like that, not mounting the space shuttle in the cover of a magazine like this. But they really changed the scene. They make this company, Critical Software, that started work with NASA, and now it's a global company. It is in more than 5 countries: USA, UK, Brazil, Mozambique. It employs more than 400 people, and especially that figure there, it exports more than 70%. And that is a good thing right now in Portugal because, as you know, we're not in a very good shape in terms of economics, so it's good for a company to export. And in a way, this sparked a trend in Coimbra. It was good to have a tech company. It was cool to have a tech company. And that started new companies. For instance, they have 5 more companies, but also the idea that was something going on. And researchers and students follow the example and start to make what is now recognized in Portugal. It is widely recognized that this is the tech scene of the country. Lots of this is a map of the startups in town, so you see lots of spots, lots of companies that are spread around the town. Especially in that place over there, that's where I work. Instituto Pedro Nunes, where you see those little red spots. It's a business incubator, and let's say more than half of the companies are located there. Not all at the same time, because some have graduated. But the thing is that people know there's something going on. And it's a vibrant place to be right now. And these are the ingredients that, in a way, produce all this. Knowledge, because it's a university town, like Nur, like Kharkiv, there's a lot of researching being done. But you have also to notice this. It's research that is being transformed into technology, into products, and into companies. So this is the first ingredient that I would mention. The second ingredient, it would be talent. There are more than 20,000 students, and well, probably the brightest ones. Like here at Nur, where, you know, the best students would like to come and like to engage in the university. And then the ambience, what's going on in the city. What is happening that makes people, you know, eager to participate. This is in Portuguese, but it's all the faculties that are in town. It's not only engineering, it's medicine, it's law school, it's arts, it's humanities. So there's a lot of combining knowledge where people can mix the things that they know. Instituto Pedro Nunes, where I work, a business incubator, where students, researchers, but anyone that lives in the city or everywhere in the world can go and make their own startup. And then lots of events that we organize. This is a 3-day startup. Actually, it's a franchise from an event that is organized in Austin, Texas. Somehow it became organized in Coimbra. And it's more aimed at students. It's like those startup weekends that are being organized everywhere in the world. I think the funny thing about it is that you don't really have to need an idea to participate. You just go there, you show up, you are eager to participate, and those who have an idea jump on stage and present the idea. Then we assemble teams, and they have to present the project. This starts on Friday night, and they have to, it's 24 hours over 24 hours, and on Sunday they have to present it to a group of investors. It's not really expected that companies would come out of this, but in a way it's, let's say, the first step, the first gateway into the system, where people start to think about, okay, maybe I want to be a tech entrepreneur, maybe I have the stamina to do it, and they have their first chance to prove their ideas. So, it's a very relaxed environment, it's fun to be there. You have mentors, you have people who help you to think about your idea. You have to think about basic questions like, how should I make money? You have to think about a solution to a problem. There's no really company when you're not solving a real problem. And then you present it to investors on a night. This is the second event I would like to present to you. In a way, it's the same model, but in a more mature way. So here, it's for companies. It's not like I'm pretending to make a tech startup, it's for real. So, we only accept, this happens in Instituto Pedro Nunes, as we organize it. We only accept companies, and we have an asset that we present to the entrepreneurs. The reason why people want to participate It's because we have, let's say, the ability to assure that the most important business angels of Portugal will be there. So people know that if they are there and if they present it well, they have a chance of getting an investor. We are already in the 4th edition. We have helped more than 60 startups, and lots of people have participated, but the last thing for us is really the most important one. To assure that we have good mentors, CEOs of, the telephonic companies of Portugal, retail companies of Portugal, people that normally it's very difficult to meet, but if you're a student from Coimbra and you go there, you can meet a lot of important people just in one weekend and exchange cards with them. And of course, VCs and business angels will be there. So, if you are bold and you dare to ask them money, maybe you can get it and you get funding. This is just a guy presenting his own tech company and plug that works in, to rationalize the bills of your energy at your home. And he presented, and this is one of the cases that he got funding from a business angel. We also try to, in a way, give media coverage to the guys who participate. It's in Portuguese, but you recognize the word Facebook. So these guys participate with a project of make, social commerce, and they got the front page of a blog about economy, one of the most important in Portugal, saying something like they're going to make a revolution on Facebook. So from an instant, they become, let's say, almost famous in Portugal, at least in certain circles. And of course, investors are aware of what's happening right now. And if you participate and you have the chance of that happening to you, you get on the radar of the investors. And of course, that's a good thing if you want to attract some money. And we try to make it amusing, so this is Portugal. We always include wine in everything we do. We also organize business competitions. This is the business contest of Coimbra University. Last year we received 156 projects. And this is the rector giving the first prize to that team that now is our incubator. So there's a real commitment from Coimbra University in supporting these type of events, and the rector himself makes a question of being there and presenting the prize. And we try to bundle all these events in a, logical way that students understand that they can start in 3-day startup and it's only for fun. If the idea is good, they can submit it to the business contest. They evolve a little bit, and more to spring, if the project is more mature and they have formed their startup, then they can go to INEO weekend and present it to real investors. And then they can go to the business incubator, and then they can go wherever they want if they have the talent for that. So it's very important for students to understand that this is not like one shot. It's an evolutionary process where you can go and get out, you can fail and try again, and the system is there for receive you. Of course, you won't be there trying for 10 years, but it's not like one shot. You have several opportunities of getting in and have an evolution of your idea. And it's also important to give, media coverage of what's going on. We animated a blog that makes podcasts with founders of startups, that tries to present new projects to the community, that in a way amplifies what's going on. Then of course there are lots of Facebook groups of the people who are involved in startups. So like the question that was made to us, how do I meet other people that think like me? Okay, they are here, they write on blogs, they belong to Facebook groups, they meet every Friday night, to have pizza and drink something and talk about the things you do. So you always know there is something going on, and And if you want to find peers like you, people who want to take a risk, you'll find them. They are there, they are everywhere. And there's also not the incubator from Pedro Nunes. There are co-work spaces where you can go there. You can check the website and see who's doing what, and try to contact them. So it's a very open environment where you can meet people very easily. And this is important. You can do a lot of events, you can do a lot of blogs, but at the end of the day, you need something like results. And these are the results that so far our incubator has achieved. We have supported more than 200 companies. Well, the figures of turnovers are important, at least for Coimbra, for Portugal. It's 140,000 inhabitants, so it's not a real big city. But they have a turnover per year of 75 million euros. And the figure below for us is the most important one. 2,000 jobs. That means that people graduate and don't get out of Coimbra. They stay in Coimbra, and that means that we attract people from other towns. And it's always important for a city to attract the best talents. And then it's not only critical software. You have to feed the system with new success cases, new companies that do well, and in a way become role models. So this is, let's say, our newest star. Fidzai, it's a company that deals with big data, that analyzes big amounts of data in real time. They were formed something like 4 years ago or something. Don't know if you can read it, but they are now making a figure of 2 million euros. The most important thing is that they started 4 years ago. They start to receive the first funding in Portugal. Now they were invested by SAP, the German software company, and a big data fund from Silicon Valley, and they have moved to Silicon Valley. So in a way, they moved to another league. They are in the championship league, let's say, right now, and they are doing very well. This is also a case that I like to present, because in a way, it's like a good example of the good things about Coimbra. It's a social media company. It's a company that combines social interaction with Google Earth. So you can go on a Segway and go into cities and meet other people that are doing the same. They have received a lot of attention from Google, so let's say their exit strategy is being bought by Google. And you can visit some places in the world. Don't know if you recognize the place, so this is my second time in Kharkiv. First time was a week ago, but only in virtual. And what I found funny about this company, it mixes people from different backgrounds. So you have, the founders are not engineers, they are guys from humanities, they are geographers, that's why they deal with maps. Then they have a guy from economics and two guys from engineering, but the one on the first line is a biochemist, so they only have one IT engineer. And it's funny how they combine all these backgrounds to assemble talent and to have different ways of thinking. Well, what about Kharkiv? I tried to Google something of what's going on. I asked some people here, and it's obvious there is a lot of things going on. I can read it, but they told me it's a good thing, and I believe it. Cool places to work in, events that are interesting. So I'm sure there is a lot of things for you to get in and to find people like you who want to become a tech entrepreneur, want to take risks, or at least to have fun while doing it. So, what can you do? When I ask this question, why you should become a tech entrepreneur, I have to position myself also in that role. What I was thinking when I graduated in 1992, I don't know if you were born in 1993, but that's when I graduated. And I graduated in economics, by the way. And what were my dreams, what were my hopes? What I have studied hard to make the course. What did really I wanted to become when I graduated? A rock star. It's a good job. They say the fringe benefits are okay if you involve on that. So that was really my goal. But if I would graduate it now, I would like to become a tech entrepreneur. Because in a way, they are the new rock stars. They are the ones who are changing the world. They are the ones who are making an impact. And like Masha will say, move over Kim, that's Kim from Kim Kardashian, Britney Spears. These are the ones that will become famous, but in a good way, because they are changing the world. So, it's not an easy job. If you're going for a tech entrepreneur, yes, you can get hurt. And yes, you can lose some money. But the real question is, it is happening everywhere. It is happening in Coimbra, it is happening here in Kharkiv, it is happening everywhere in the world. And I think the big question is, what are you going to do? Do you want to be a part of it, or do you want to be a spectator? Or do you want to be the role of the hero, the Jedi Knight of startups? I think that's the big question. And my final challenge, well, before going to lunch, would be try that jump. It is not really a jump in the dark, but if I understand my Ukrainian right, a leap into the future. And if you live in a town that has that type of ecosystem, it's not really a jump in the dark because you have some safety. Because you live in a university, you have people that do the same thing as you, so in a way it's a controlled jump. And that would be my suggestion for you. Thank you for your attention, and there for me.
Ребята, есть вопросы? Есть, я вижу, есть. Давайте пару вопросов и...
Do you know how many startups company grow from your university?
Well, from Instituto Pedro Nunes we support more than 200 companies, okay? But they are not all spin-offs from Coimbra University. Spin-offs, we have a rate of 65% of those 200 companies are spin-offs from Coimbra University.
Thank you.
Еще вопросы? Ребята, еще вопросы? Да, есть. Если кто не понял, спин-офф, это я на всякий случай.
How many of those companies are successful in our...
Well, that depends how you define success. If we're talking about survival rate, so companies that are still on business, we have a rate of 85%. So around 150 companies are still on business. Of course, some are companies that have high rates of growth. So they start with 1 million, 2 million, 10 millions, and so on. And some are companies that will stay forever, 4 guys earning their salary, not growing much, but that's okay too. I mean, they are creating their own jobs, they don't have a boss, they are doing what they are liking, so that's okay, that's also success for us.
Thanks.
Да, ну, ребят, опять же, чтобы быть успешным, если в нашей компании достаточно переехать в Силиконовую долину и быть уже успешной, то там никуда ехать не надо, там и так все хорошо, понимаете? Поэтому... Так, если вопросов больше нет, ребят, сейчас объявляется перерыв до 1:30. Но я еще раз говорю, есть очень интересные доклады, и мы будем рады вас видеть. Не потеряйтесь. Все, спасибо.